Hello, everyone. I'm Silent Death, and welcome back to Stationeers No Mining Challenge. Last time we did a whole bunch of things. We added the fabricator to our automatic ingot delivery and keep in stock systems. We finished off this area over here, tweaking the Stirling engine and the gas fuel generator. And we did something else that I can't remember. Didn't we do something else? I thought we did something else. Anyway, the total energy from the gas from last episode, I've let this run between episodes, and it's used up all of the gas there. We got about up to 40-something% power. So the total energy is 1161. It's that number right there. 116 million watt or joules. 116 million joules. Then of that, we generated half this in watts of power. If we divide those two numbers, we get 11.193% of the potential power, or of the energy is turned into power out of a potential of 15%. So that's pretty good. And we consumed 7.6 million watts of power, or half that technically. And if we divide this by this, that's 29.396%. Oh, that's not the highest from all of our readings, but it's not great either. Now, also between episodes, I've gone and taken all of our gas. Let's see, here. I took all of the NOS and the volatiles that we had and dumped them in here too, because I did not think we were going to be enough. I also accidentally dumped some N2 in here, because, you know, the canisters are also green. And that's entirely my fault. But you can go over here and look at our toxic waste dump area, and it's looking a little bare. There's not as much as there used to be. Oh, and we fell down the hole again. I keep falling down this hole all the freaking time. I really need to seal it up. Okay, so today, what I really want to work towards is getting better power production, because this is still not enough. Once we use up all that fuel, we're going to be out of power again. You can see that the Amy area is shut down. We've actually mined out the 2 waypoints that we had already set. They're completely mined out. And you can also see that I did this here. Even put little lights in, though they aren't wired up yet, just to get an idea how it would look. I think that looks kind of nice. These are the long angled wall lights. So what I want to do is work towards long-term power solution, which, as I said a while ago, is going to be based on our plants and fertilizer. To do that, we first need an atmospheric handling area to separate out the CO2 and feed that to the plants and all the other stuff. Then we need a water production area to produce water for our plants and fertilizer. Then we need to separate out gases from the fertilizer production. Then, to build all of that, which is going to take a lot of resources, we need to have a manufacturing area. We've got that mostly set up, but I want to create an automatic smelting thing to go with that. We already have Amy's for ore mining, but we'll probably want to set up a deep miner as well to add into this. And with all that ore mining, we're going to need storage for the ore, which is what we're going to work on today. And with the storage, we will want that to come through to our advanced furnaces down here and automatically smelt stuff, which will be requested from over here. So that is the plan. We're going to have storage. Then whenever this crafts something, it'll check to see if it has enough stuff, enough ingots. And if it doesn't, it will send that information down to over here. Let's just actually go to over right over there. And that will say, okay, I need to smelt something. Then it will go over to our storage area, which is going to be over here. And it will say, okay, send me whatever ores that I need to smelt. And then it will smelt them. And then that will send the ingots back over to into our system. And that's going to be a little bit complicated. And probably take a few episodes. Hopefully by the time that we've finished getting all of that done with the atmosphere and everything, there'll have been another patch to, flesh out this little farming update thing. But first, as is typical, there's something that we want to do before we start into the meat of this episode. I was up here, venting my waste and getting some more air, and I happened to mouse over these, and it said they were thriving. A little bit ago it said they were thriving. Now it just says moderately well. But they're dark. I haven't had lights on here in quite some time because I've been saving power. And yeah, I don't know why. So I wanted to check what's going on with those guys. We're going to go make one of those genetic things. Whatever it's called. First, I think I need to turn on power for my manufacturing area. Yeah, you're off. So we're at 23% now. It's been a while. I've done a ton of trading. Well, as much trading as I could. We have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Yeah, 47 items, and this is like the third stock thing I've kept of this. We've gotten 253,000 bucks. I've only sold like a stack of pumpkins, and I've filled this thing out 3 times. It's just ridiculous how much pumpkins are worth now. Alright, so it's probably over here. Crank you up. And let's see, it's probably, what is it, gene something? Gene sampler? Gene something another? We have this. Maybe it's a tool. What about you? Gene? No? Okay, that is weird. Back to home. It's genetics. Plant sampler. Where are you? You're in the tool manufacturer, tier 1. Are you not in the tier 2? Maybe it's plant. Plant? You did gene, but not plant. Plant sampler. Okay, there it is. Send us the stuff. It's not very expensive. I'm going to craft this, and then we'll head back up there. Alright, let's see. You are growing moderately well as well. Not receiving the correct amount of light per day. Sample. I clicked the left mouse. Cannot interact. Oh, none. Okay. There we go. Then if we put you in there, turn this on. And left click to view the sample. So, what is this? It's been adjusted slightly. I suppose blue is the normal pressure range. Growth speed multiplier is actually a little bit low. Light per day is going down, and darkness per day is also going down. Water usage is going up, gas production is about the same. And desired gas resistance, drought damage, frozen damage. Let's try another one. What's that? Doesn't seem right. What about you? One more. The animation is actually pretty good. A bit above their normal standards. Okay, you are... you look about the same. So you've really changed the pressure thing. I have no idea why. I mean, the pressure's at... This is within the normal range. Light per day is, yeah, that's going down slightly, but so is the darkness. So those are weird that that's going down, even though, it's been just sitting in darkness. So I don't really know what's going on with those. But I just wanted to figure out what the hell was going on, and we don't know. Alright, so now we'll go down and start working on the storage area for the ore. Okay, so we have the output from the Amy's up here, and it's a black chute, and we're going to want to leave a space enough for us to walk through on this side. We want this to come down into a series of sorters. So we'll start, yes, just right here, and then I think this one is the filtered portion, I believe. So we'll have that be a stacker. We need a gap between them. And then this will go into one of these guys. A silo. We'll have these in order. They're going to be in alphabetical order. So biomass, charcoal, coal, cobalt, this, that. We want to do reagent, and I don't know if we'll do uranium. We may just straight up sell it, or we may keep it. I don't know. It's good for smelting to get polluted. And I'm not sure if we have enough room for this. We may need to expand this out a little bit more. But I want them all in a big row. I guess we could do 2 rows. But the reason we're doing them in alphabetical order is so that we can use the more IC commands mod to reference each silo individually, and they'll be in order that we can easily figure out. And I'm using biomass down here, just it's probably going to be the biomass that I trade for and not the biomass that I manufacture. Though I guess if we need charcoal, if I need charcoal, I will make in some biomass down here or something. But I doubt I'll run out of coal. We don't use that much, as long as I don't burn it for energy. I think the coal is, we're getting more coal than we need to make steel, basically. In the ratio compared to how much iron we're getting. So, we'll do this repeated however many times that is, and see how many we can fit here. I think we're going to have to do multiple rows. This whole room here is earmarked for storage, so I guess it's okay if we use it all. Instead of just having one room, it's fine. So let me do all this. This is going to be a while. We're going to need a bazillion chutes, which is why we set up the automatic chute manufacturing last episode. That's already running. If you've noticed the error messages that are popping up from the fabricator, or maybe done fabricating right now. It's a little bit slow, but it's working. And already we have 409 stacks of ore from our Amy's and stuff. So we're going to have a bit of a test run once this all gets built. It shouldn't be too difficult to get this part done though. A brief intermission. I figured out why the flue gas is hot or colder than we thought it should be last episode. And that is because of the pressure in this room. It is cooling the gas that's in this generator before it gets pumped out. So what I've done is I've lowered the maximum pressure in this room to 30 kilopascals, and that's causing the gas to be a little bit hotter. And should get us more energy. I think that works well. We could also try to run the room a little bit warmer, but that might be a little bit difficult, given how small of a room it is. If we had a bigger room, we could control it closer to the settings for this. But right now, this is staying pretty good. It's running constantly instead of ticking on and off like it was before. And I'm just waiting for some traders to bring us more iron and copper before we can continue building. We have gotten these all run, or set up, or built, or whatever. And they're named in alphabetical order, all the way to uranium. And I did them facing each other, so that we save the chutes that way. The output of the unsorted on the top, and the output of the silos on the bottom. We've also named the sorters in the same way. And we now have to get rid of this guy, which has the stuff that unsorted ores in it. But we need to do one more thing with this part, and that is deal with reagents, because we're going to have them come down here too, probably. I'm thinking that's how we'll do things. So let's start with the sorter. Or yeah. We want a sorter, say, right on the other side of this. Like so. And then just some chutes. If I can place them. And let's see, so this will be sorted on this side is sorted, and this side is unsorted, which means we'll need more of these, as we're going to want a stacker here to deal with that, just in case they're not stacked, so that our centrifuge runs the most efficiently possible. And then for this little guy, these will be just, you know, stuff that somehow got in the chute network that's not supposed to be there. It won't be any ores. It won't be anything else. It'll be something that we just kind of store for later. We'll stick a vending machine to deal with it. This is going to be a centrifuge, which is apparently larger than I was expecting. We'll just fix that up real fast. There's the centrifuge, and the output from the centrifuge is going to go back into the chutes. Actually, it's going to go into a sorter first. We'll have another sorter here. Like this. Because we might have alloys, and we want to separate out the alloy reagents from the ores. So that will mean that the reagents are going to go in this side here. Shoots. So you're going to be reagents, and I think we can just do that like that. We might need one more. That's going to be another vending machine. So we'll have two vending machines like right next to each other. That'll work. And then this is going to be messy. Let's go get the vending machines first. So one here and one here. Which kind of lines up for us. And then, yeah, that'll go like that. Then we'll connect these two together. We can. I suppose it really makes a huge amount of difference. Then you'll go just connect straight in here. It won't matter. And then this guy, connect up here. We'll have to probably keep these separated somehow. I'm not sure how. I have no idea if we can tell what type of reagent it is. I'm hoping that there's some way to detect that, but we'll have to figure that out once we get into the programming part. And let's see, we can build that a little bit. So the shoots from here is going to be ingots, and that's going to have to come up. I guess we'll just go up like right through here and connect it to that line right there. The black line, which is the ore line. It will join those two together. It's not going to look pretty, but, you know, this is an industrial area anyway, so it's not supposed to look pretty. It would be nice if it looked pretty, but shoots are ugly. We might do it like this just to, you know, have a little visual thing. I'll finish this up off camera. And that'll be that, that'll be that. Okay, we need to name both of these reagent things to work with how we're going to do the programming part. It is reagent and not reactant, right? Should be reagent. Reagents. Okay. So those are those two. We probably want to name these two one after the other. And this will be reagents here. And this will be, I don't know, junk. Then, so that's taking care of that part. Pick that up later. Then we over here, we're going to have some displays. Yeah, displays. Let's call them displays. Consoles and LEDs. So we'll have console monitors. They're pretty much not great from this viewing angle, but there isn't a console, a normal console that can have the input just from the top, which I don't like. I would also like a LED that could have the input from the top, but there's not one of those either. Unless you can upside down lids, I don't think you can. You could try it. Does it detect power somehow? Power? Let me hook this up to power. Okay, to see if this lid will display if it's upside down, we're going to come over here. And we'll put the circuitry, I think, like right in here. Right here would be best because that's going to be, that's the elevator shaft that might have wiring and stuff coming up it. And we already have the power coming in from right here, so yeah, that's fine. We'll do our favorite composite rollover covers. Then we will put you way up here in the corner. In case we need to add a bunch of circuits here, which we shouldn't, but it's possible. And we will just connect this like this. Should be fine. That is, I have no idea why I picked this up. That is definitely not the wire cutters. Alright, you have power? Yes? Okay. So what we want to do is just do a quick little thing. We'll do a batch thing. With this guy, so clear. We'll just do a batch thing with the lead because I don't want to have to fuss with the screws. And we'll just set it to a random number. Alright, this is definitely upside down. I was hoping that maybe it was smart enough to orient correctly. But nope, we're going to have to do this the ugly way. And just have LEDs like this. That's going to take a lot of consoles. And these are going to have hash displays, which is going to display the type of ore. And the bottom display is going to display the quantity in the silo. So that we can come in here and just look at how much we have. You may want to do this somewhere else with some logic transmitters or something eventually. But right now we'll just have it in the room. And we're going to add an occupancy sensor. Because we don't need this to be running when we're not in the room. And we'll hook this up and with our, logic and stuff. Once we seal off this room, because it's actually a room, which means we're going to need some doors. Glass doors. I think these are fine. Like we want to get rid of that. We'll seal that off. And stick another glass door here. And these probably take glass. Alright, so that's that much. Now then for the programming. We still have a little bit of time. So what we're going to do first, we need to set up all of these sorters, which we're going to use the whatever mod that is. The better sorters, I think it's called. I forgot what I named my mod. But we'll use those to set them all up instead of having to fiddle with the little UI that comes with the game. But we'll also grab the motherboard and bring that down here. And then we can empty out this once we've got that set up. This is going to take me a few minutes, and I will be right back. One thing I forgot to do is add these, which logic cache generators are built from logic memories. We could use logic memory, but we don't really need to. These work, and there's really not much use for them outside of something like this. this will be what the console is going to point at to display the type of hash or thing that we want. And there should be 11, I think, if we did this right. Those will be all set up, and then we need to name them in the same way. So this will be biomass, etc. Need to do that and then save and reload. Here we are. We've got the sorters hash, the stackers. We're doing both types because we're doing both types. We had to switch to memory because the hash generators are not, they're read-only. You can't write to them for some reason. I have no idea why. And I'm not using that. Then some aliases, and we're pushing the various hatches for the items that we're doing. We're doing 2 for reagents because we have 2 reagent sorters. And we're initializing the setting. We're turning on the stackers and the sorters. Waiting a tick. We're setting the setting to the stackers to 50 for that many items. For coal and biomass that can stack more than 50, I'm going to normalize, standardize to a stack size of 50 for the production settings. So we'll just break those into 50. Setting the sorter mode to 1 and waiting. Then we're counting the number of sorters, subtracting 1 from that. Then we're popping the hash. We're setting the setting input to that hash for a given sorter at that index. Yield. Then we subtract 1. And if this is greater than 0, if the stack pointer is greater than 0, we loop. Then we have the memory hashes, which is the same thing, except for it doesn't have reagents because we're not going to have a silo for reagents. And count for the memory, this is the same thing, but it's just doing it for the memory. And then it switches to -1 because I'm not going to bother to count how many seconds it takes. So I turn that on, and that should work. This sorter right here is not hooked up to data, so it should not mess with anything. Not a sorter, that's a silo. Alright, so are you finished yet? No. And now it's done. So if we go check our memories, this is -8. Yep, that is biomass. And 50, that is uranium. Excellent. Oh, it's actually 12 of these and not 11. I miscounted. And let's check our sorters to make sure they're correct. On you go. So, iron sorter is iron, uranium's uranium. These are in the middle. Is it? So, silicon, silicon, biomass, biomass. Charcoal, that looks right. Silver, yes. Reagent, iron, uranium. Cobalt, nickel, reagent. Oh, yes, yes. Okay, everything's good. Perfect. Excellent. It's a shame that it was easier to look all those things up than use the UI for that thing, but it was. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is, we're going to take you out. Our program for this room, this is now a room, by the way. We've done the walls, so our little sensor is working now. The program for this room is going to do a few things. One is going to control these and the LEDs that's going to be below it. Then it's also going to control the power for all this stuff. Because this is going to be the main purpose of that guy, is going to be controlling the power. So what it's going to do is it's going to read the input slot of the sorters, and if there's anything in them, it will turn stuff on. That's how it's going to work. It also is going to be responsible for exporting ore, I think. I'm not entirely certain if we want to do that here or somewhere else or what, but it depends on how much stuff we have in that little, how many lines we have available once we've finished what we need to do here. And it depends on if we can do anything with the reagents and stuff, because that'll take some lines. So this little line here, which is the output, is going to go into another sorter. Okay, so something like this. Don't want it to be too far over. And we're going to have this controlled by our RC chip. So this is going to be mode, what is it, mode 2? Pretty sure it's mode 2. Logic mode. And that will allow us to make sure that we only have the right amount of stuff going through that we need instead of too much. We don't want too much to go through because that will break everything. This will just come through here. And then we will have a return loop. And this will go on to the furnace room. The return loop's just going to snake over and connect into this loop here, which is the output for the centrifuge. And I did not plan it that way, it just worked out. This is not the neatest room, but it's working. If I wanted it neat, I would do stuff underground. Or inside of the, we are underground, or inside of the frames. If I wanted it neat, it would go inside the frames. Okay, so the next thing we want to do is we want to set this sorter. We're going to name you. I have no idea what we're going to name you. Let's call you the furnace sorter or the 2 furnace sorter. That makes sense to me. Then let's check this guy out. What do you have for us? Your quantity activated. And if we go outside the room, it is not activated. So activate is the one that we want to read. That is fine. And those guys, we'll just use some hashes for those 2. We also want to read control this with the logic, because we don't want this running all the time. I think that's everything. So we'll program that, and then we can dump this, and it will tell us if we're working or not. Okay, we have a bunch of stuff here. We have sorters, stackers, more stackers, centrifuge, console, silos, the occupancy sensor, and the LEDs. Then some registers, and I'm leaving this in here in case I need it. I may not, I may. Then we're reading the sensor, the activate thing, and setting that to our on off. We're turning the LED and the consoles on or off. We don't have enough of either of these, so we're going to comment out these lines. We don't have enough of them, and we don't have enough resources to make enough of them. But that'll do that. I could leave just one on. Let's go and take one of these. And I put battery somewhere. Way over here. So as I was saying, we'll take one of these and we'll just make them one of these. There. That should take care of that. We might want to make all these because they may break. Well, it should be fine. Probably. Maybe. Alright, we were here. Okay, so we'll turn on the consoles or the LEDs. And then let me go get something to drink. Okay, where were we? We're checking the centrifuge to see if the import slot is occupied. If so, we go to purify, which is down here. It turns on everything, which is down here. It turns on stackers, the sorters, and the silos, and returns. Then it turns on the centrifuge. It closes the centrifuge, and it sleeps for 10 seconds. Then we're checking the sorters and the stackers import slots. If any of them are occupied, we go to sort, which turns on the machines and updates the LEDs, which we're going to comment out since we don't have enough LEDs. But updating the LEDs is down here. So reading the amount of silos, subtracting 1 from it. We're reading the quantity from the silos, and we are setting the setting of the LEDs to the quantity of the silos. And we wait a tick and loop back up to here and just keep going as long as the index is greater than 0. Pretty simple. And then we're down to sleep here. Then we turn everything off, which is the opposite of turning everything on, except that it also turns off the centrifuge and opens the centrifuge so that it's going to be always open when it's off. And that'll get stuff out just, so that, because it may have 2 things where the centrifuge is activating the sorters and stuff. Could be kind of weird. Just to make sure that doesn't cause any problems. Okay, and we don't have that many lines left. We have a few. And as I said before, we don't have enough stuff to do the LEDs. That's why we're not going to do this. We have this we're going to export. And we'll turn this on, which should turn on these guys. The console did not get turned on. Why not? Do you have power? You do have power. Did we not give it the right console? Okay, something is unhappy. And I did not see that. Let's see what's going on here. Incorrect logic type at line 36. Line 36 is the console. So obviously we did something wrong here with console. Confirm. Make sure that that is that. I'm pretty sure. Okay, consoles. It's the console monitor. That does look right. That's the same number. What if we look at the prefab hash? What does it say? 806.677.497. 806.677.497. Okay, that is also correct. Unless it's these. They don't have a prefab hash, but they may be having some problems because they're not set. Could be an issue. Let's try or deconstruct them and see. Okay, that seems to have worked. It is flashing an error, and if we go outside, it should turn off. Should, we hope. In a second, and it's not turning off. Why aren't you turning off? Are you activated? You are not active? Did I forget to loop that? Do sleep one, jump, turn off, and jump to main. That looks correct. Try it again. Should turn off within a second. I don't know what's going on there. I'm not sure we can figure it out. It may still be having an error. That or it's trying to turn something on. It's not turning this off. What if we turned you off? It does not appear to be looping. That is the problem. Alright, let's check it some more. I just forgot to put the batch mode here. That was the problem. So these should work now. We go outside. It turns off. Excellent. Alright, so this guy here should not be controlled. So if we open this with no sound because we're in a vacuum, and everybody turns on, and everybody turns off, and everybody turns on, I guess that's saving power technically. But maybe we should do a little sleep command after that. Let's do sort, turn on, let's go sleep for like 2 seconds. Give stuff the chance to move through. Yeah, that's more like it. Let's see if these guys are filling up. So we got none of that. We shouldn't have any of those. None of that. Hopefully I was correct in how I think I got the sorters backwards. Because I'm not getting anything sorted. We have 2 things of whatever that is. 2 things of iron. And 2 things of silicon. And nothing else. That does not make sense. Oh, I bet it's not stacks. That's probably what the problem is. We don't have full stacks. Maybe if we checked these, they probably have stuff inside them. Like if we go to the iron one. And we cannot click on that. But we do have the mod that allows us to read the slots. So input count's 13. So that makes more sense. And some errors there from something. Okay, so you are running Let me wait, and I'll be back once this empties. And the silo is empty. Everything's shut off. In power saving mode, we've got a bunch of iron and some other stuff. Some coal around here. Coal. This one's coal. A fair amount of coal and some silicone. And that is most of what we have. But I think we're going to end things here. I want to trade to get some more consoles. We also might use crafting consoles as a test for our automatic smelting thing. I have been trading during this episode. We're up to 371,000 bucks. That's not terrible. We still haven't put a significant dent in our pumpkins. The next episode, we are going to finish off this by linking it with the furnace. I'm not going to get to the furnace part of this script today because how I was planning on doing it is not going to work. So I have to figure something else out. And yeah, that's it for this. Like if you like, subscribe if you're not. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.